How do you name a business? This feels like one of the most difficult decisions to make when you are starting a business. At least it was for me. So in this video, I want to give you a few tips to think about when you are trying to name your business. If you're new here, my name's Jess and I create videos for business owners like you to help you save time and look good online. And before we dive into the tips, I thought I would quickly share how I came up with my business name. It's a little bit funny. You probably won't laugh out loud, but I thought I would share. So flashback to 2011, I am in my final year of college, and for my senior portfolio, I have to brand myself. So either just branding like my own name, coming up with a business name, whatever, name, logo, etc. So there are a few things here at play. At the time, I am doing design and photography, so I need something that encompasses both. I also don't like my maiden name because it was a little difficult. I mean, to me it wasn't, but to a lot of people it was difficult to spell. We always had mail that had letters in the wrong order or additional letters were added. So I was like, I don't want to brand myself with that. But also, I was dating my now husband, who I knew we were going to get married at some point. So one, I didn't want to have to like rebrand myself again after we got married. But I also, two, didn't want to already start using his last name. So I was like, well, I didn't want to use something with my last name, whatever it was going to be. So I did some brainstorming, and long story short, that's how I came up with Jess Creatives. Now that story's out of the way, let's dive into a few tips I have for naming your business. The first thing is similar to what I just mentioned. Be aware of some tricky spelling, whether it's your first name or your last name, or if you're coming up with another business name and you want to use some kind of like funky spelling for whatever reason. You might be thinking, well, people are just going to click on my website from social media and email and whatnot. But if someone, meets you at an event or they hear about your name from someone else and they're trying to just type in your domain and pull up your website, it might be difficult if they are leaving out letters, putting letters in the wrong order, blah, blah, blah. So just be aware of any spelling mishaps that might happen, because the easier it is for people to remember your business name and domain, and the easier it is to get to your website, the better. The next thing I want you to consider is don't limit yourself in your business name, in case your business evolves or changes. So if you wanted to, name your business like Amy's Meal Planning, well, then you're really limited to meal planning. And unless you're super sure that that's what you want to do, then you're going to have to change your name eventually. What would be better is just Amy's Nutrition Solutions, or, last name nutrition company or something like that. This is a good place to remind you though that you can change your business name in the future. It's not a big deal. Yes, you have to get a new domain and rebrand and announce the new business name, blah, blah, blah. It's not the end of the world. Is it a little extra work? Yes, but we're not Nike. So, it's not oh man, we have to do this huge marketing campaign because we're changing our business name and rebranding. It's not as big of a deal. So don't be afraid that you're going to be locked into this business name forever. I know plenty of businesses who have rebranded. The next thing I would recommend is making sure you do a quick internet search, also searching on social media of the business name that you are thinking about. Make sure this name isn't super, super common, like Black Box Consulting. There might be 150 businesses already named that. So trying to, name your business that is going to be difficult because you're going to have a hard time finding a domain that's available that makes sense with your business name. Also, if someone's trying to look you up and they're like Black Box Consulting, it might pull up that business from 2 states over. or might pull up multiple and they're like, I don't, which one is what I'm trying to find. So just, I'm not here to say like if someone else has that name, you absolutely can't use it. I'm not a legal expert. There is some legalities with like if it's trademarked and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to link to my friend Sam. She's a lawyer. She has a YouTube channel and a podcast. She probably has resources to help you kind of sort through that search and what you need to consider with the legal side of things. But just keep that in mind, that you don't want to have a name that's too common. And along the same lines, I would also recommend that you look at domains. So you want to make sure that you have an easy domain that's available. Now, there are lots of ways to, get different domains, meaning like if you are wanting to do blackboxconsulting.com and that's taken, you could just do, like BLK Box Consulting. You could do blackboxconsulting.co.net. Like, so there are ways that you could get a similar domain or shorten your domain or something like that. But you also have to keep in mind that even though it's 2021, a lot of people are still used to just doing .com. So sometimes if you are .co, they might not remember, or even if you're a .net. Not saying it's the end of the world, but it's something to just keep in mind. And lastly, I have a lot of clients who will ask me like, well, should I come up with a business name or can I just like brand myself under my own name? And I think just naming your business after yourself is totally fine. Like, especially in this online space, like, I mean, if you're trying to start like a pizzeria, then it might be a little more weird and difficult if it's like John Smith LLC and you're like, is that a pizza place? I'm not sure. But in this online space, online entrepreneurs who work just virtually with clients, I don't think it's an issue to just, amysmith.com, Amy Smith, that's just the name of your business. I think that's totally fine and gives you ample room to change your business because it's just your name. So you could completely 180 your business and not have to get a new domain. So if you just want to bypass the whole naming process and just go after your own name, I think that's totally fine. Might be a little tricky if you have a super common name like John Smith. I think you would probably have troubles getting a domain with that. But otherwise, I think that's also an easy route to go. If you have questions about branding your business, naming your business, anything like that, let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, be sure and give it a thumbs up, and I will see y'all next time.